Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. While we're not Strava crazy type of riders, we do ride with the GPS computer, and the one that I use is this older model Garmin 530, which is very good, offers great features. However, if you were to buy that for the entire family, you'll go poor rather quickly. That is why I started to look for alternatives, and I found something like this iGPSport 630. This seems to offer pretty much the features of the Garmin 530, but in a much more affordable package. So let's take a closer look and see what this iGS630 is about. Early in the year, I looked at their more basic computer, this iGS320, and while this is a more basic GPS computer, it does offer that 72 hours battery life, which is definitely appreciated. In comparison, the 630 comes up with the 35 hours battery life, which I also got to appreciate more and more. The Garmin 530, this one gives you good battery life. However, we're talking about 20 hours in comparison. Garmin also talks about onboard map, Strava, and Training Peaks connections, and a few other things that they provide over here. And in comparison, a product like this offers something that's very similar, even though it's not really listed here on the box. However, up here, you're gonna see that this guy can connect to all available satellites these days. It's a slightly bigger screen, 2.8 inches versus this 2.6. Uses a Type-C connector for charging. This is micro USB. And then you have ANT+ and BLE connectivity, and also 8 gigabytes of internal memory. I really don't know how much memory the 530 has in it. Garmin will also mention Wi-Fi here for connectivity, something that this 630 doesn't have. And this is supposedly made for iPhone. I don't know what that means exactly, but the app for the iGPSport can be downloaded quickly here. Just scan that QR code and get to the App Store. And this is made in China, and the Garmin 530 is made in Taiwan. From a user experience standpoint, Garmin didn't seem to pay that much attention to it. The unit is right here in the box. As opposed to that, these guys give you this fancy looking sleeve, but then you get to the magnetic cover box, and inside you're gonna get some of the features of the unit. Here's the device itself, and here on the right hand side you have a little box with all the accessories in it. You're getting a little user manual, a Garmin includes as well, and then you get the mount and you get a lanyard, something that is provided with the Garmin as well. Obviously, one thing that Garmin doesn't provide is this protective film for the GPS itself. So again, this comes from the factory. You don't have to buy it aftermarket. The GPS comes right out. Side by side, it's pretty obvious that the iGS630 has a slightly bigger screen, but it also has a different form factor. However, on the back, these are pretty similar, as in the mount that these guys use is identical with the mount used by the Garmin. And here at the bottom, you have the charging port of the iGS. And talking about the mount, this one with the two rubber straps is the only one provided with the iGS. Garmin will provide you this bigger mount in the box. iGS does have something very similar, however, it will be sold to you as an accessory. I'm using my Garmin with a screen protector with this rubber sleeve, and I am using the little lanyard attached to the bottom. The iGS device is no different. I already showed you the little screen protector that's provided. The lanyard attaches here at the bottom as well, and in their accessories you're gonna find this silicone case, and I have both the screen protector and the case installed right now, and not surprisingly these fit really well. They don't make the unit any bulkier necessarily, so I'm glad to have them both from the get-go. To set this up, you're gonna need their iGPSport application, and to fire this up you're gonna use the same button that Garmin uses, so top left, long press, they say 4 seconds. Here we go, it comes right up, and you're gonna have up and down. English is fine. This is okay. Celsius. And here we go. The unit came right up, and the unit provides you with these icons, which is pretty interesting. Use the arrows to move from one to the next. OK is the top right button. Going to my app, add a device. Obviously is going to be this iGS630. Connect. Application allows you to manage your data, set up workouts, routes, add sensors. Here under firmware check is where you're going to find the latest. I highly recommend that you go and download the latest updates, as they not only fix bugs, but they also add new features to these GPSs. Going into ride mode is what we would be interested in, and you can see the various options here for profiles. Interestingly, there is no MTB profile, something that I would do right away. And also something you might be interested in doing is linking this up with Strava and Training Peaks, both of them listed over here. Outside you can see the two units side by side. Visibility of the screen, very good. You can change the parameters displayed here as well, just like you can on the Garmin. Unit connects to the GPS satellites very quickly, and you can see how that more elongated form factor fits on the longer stem of a road or gravel bike very nicely. Display is very visible and, as I mentioned, highly configurable. On the screen you can display one of the many pages you can configure by using the up or down arrow, just like with the Garmin. The top left button, also the back button, opens a menu with a few options like you see here on the screen. Top right button, also the enter button, allows you to save the ride and also provides a few shortcuts for other menus and options. This is very similar to what the Garmin provides, and you can see the two units here side by side. Once you stop, you can save the ride and you can see some of the details displayed here on the screen. However, if you just paused, once you start again, the ride is going to resume, and this auto function configuration is something that I really like with the iGPS firmware, is the ability to set up these auto configuration settings. If you go in, something that can be very important, especially for something like mountain biking, is this, the auto pause. Which speed the GPS it's gonna pause. That's a problem usually with mountain biking, and you can decide here when is this gonna pause. One of the features of this GPS that you might want to use is the included maps. If you are like me in Canada, there is no maps on the GPS from the get-go. However, it's very easy to get them installed. You just go onto their website, look to download the maps, find your region, download them to a PC, connect to the GPS using a USB-C cable, and upload it that way. You can create and download routes on this GPS just like with the Garmin. You can use it for navigation turn by turn if you want. Overall, I think this is very useful if you're doing a lot of road cycling. And you can see the two maps side by side. If you're a mountain biker, the Garmin wins only because it does have off-road trails, whereas on the iGPS you get some idea of the trails, but they're not marked, and you don't have any level of details that the Garmin provides. Otherwise, just using them as a simple device to record distance, heart rate, cadence, and things like that, they seem to work equally well. I kind of like the display of this because it's a bit bigger, but obviously Garmin is perfectly fine. Also remember, like with any GPS, when you go on single track up into the woods, make sure you have a speed sensor installed on the bike if you want accurate distance information. And one last thing about this, what I like is that in the last few firmware releases, they didn't just fix bugs, but they added new features. So who knows, maybe they're gonna add some off-road trails one day. So what kind of GPS computer do you guys use? Do you use a GPS computer or just use your phone? Let me know in the comments below. Hope you found this kind of information useful. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps my channel. And until next time, hope to see you folks on the trails. Cheers, guys. Cheers.